Hello everyone, it's great to see you here today and I'm glad you dropped by. Today I'm going to review Nissin Chow Teriyaki chicken flavor with other natural flavors. And Nissan is the creation of Momofuku Ando. If you want to know a little bit more about Nissan and their founder, click the tab shown right up above on this video. The box says restaurant style noodles, savory sauce, net weight 4 ounces or 113 grams, chow mein noodles, and it also says no MSG added. Now when you're strolling down the Asian food aisle in your grocery store, you're going to notice that Momofuku has almost cornered the market. Most of the products you're going to find will be Nissin, and there are a few others struggling for counter space and shelf space, but Momofuku seems to know the formula for getting the job done. Okay, let's look at the nutritional facts of this Nissin Chow Mein Teriyaki chicken. The nutritional facts are serving size. One packet is 113 grams or 480 calories per serving. Now, a few of these other cup of noodles and noodle preparations I've reviewed, 480 calories seems to be the amount. And so if you're a college kid and you're trying to sustain yourself on this, it's probably going to take 4, maybe 5 of these a day to get. 4 will get you close to 2,000 calories. 5 will get you around 2,300 plus calories. And this cost $1.46. So if you had 4 of these in a day, you'd be looking at $6. About the cost of a McDonald's kids meal. Total fat 21 grams or 26%. It's a little bit high for 480 calories. But again, if you had 4 of these, you'd be coming right in at a good amount. Saturated fat 9 grams or 45%. Cholesterol less than 5 milligrams or 2%. Now here's the bad news for heart patients and people with high blood pressures. 1,360 milligrams of salt or sodium, 59% of your daily allowance. So once you've eaten one of these, you've really taken in more than half of your daily recommended salt. Now, unless you're an athlete or a runner or somebody who physically exerts himself a lot or sweats a lot, this probably isn't going to hurt you that much. Total carbohydrate 64 grams or 23%. Dietary fiber 2 grams or 7%. Total sugars 10 grams and includes 7 grams of added sugars or 14% of your daily value. Protein 10 grams, not bad. Vitamin D 0. Calcium 40 milligrams, 2%. Iron 5.5 milligrams, 30%. Potassium 210 milligrams at 4%. Now let's take a look at some of the ingredients you're going to have here. Enriched flour. And when you're looking at ingredients on the label, folks, the ingredient that it starts with is the primary ingredient, and the ingredient that it ends with is the least amount of that ingredient in the product itself. So you got that when you're reading the label? Look at the last thing on the label, and that's going to be the least amount in the package, and the first thing on the label is going to be the most amount. Enriched flour, wheat flour, niacin, reduced iron, thiamine, mononitrate, riboflavin, folic acid, vegetable oil, palm oil, canola oil, dextrose, disodium guanylate, disodium isonate, disodium succinate, and all those are your salts. Those 3 things I just mentioned. dried bok choy, dried carrot strip, egg white, high fructose, corn syrup, lactose, preservative, vinegar, wheat, xanthan gum, maltodextrin, natural flavor, rendered chicken fat, rice, sodium phosphate, sodium triple phosphate, soy lecithin, soybean, sucralose, TBHQ, manufactured in a facility that also produces peanut, tree nuts, sesame, crustacean, shellfish, and other fish products. So if you have allergies, and I hope you're reading your labels if you have allergies, because some of the things they mention on here are pretty common for people with allergies, so be sure you check the label on this. And I have mentioned to you guys in previous videos that I am a kidney dialysis patient, so in terms of potassium, at 210 milligrams, potassium is bad for me, so that's a low amount of potassium. But this thing is loaded with phosphates, and I take a pill that's called a binder before I eat. I'm supposed to take it every time before I eat, because you just never know where they sneak in the phosphates. But they didn't sneak them in here, folks. They're telling you straight up, this thing has quite a bit of phosphates in it, and that's what gives it its shelf life. So when you don't have kidney function, you don't have any way to process those phosphates. So you take the binder, and it passes the phosphates through your large intestines instead of your small ones. And hopefully it helps you keep your phosphate numbers below 5, which I do a pretty good job of that. And some of these things I review for you guys, I probably shouldn't be, but hey, the things you do. So anyway, it says here, as far as preparing this, the microwave directions: open the lid to the dotted line, take out the sauce packet and set aside. Add room temperature water inside the fill line. Place the microwave in the center for 5 minutes on high to 1000 watts and let stand for 1 minute. Remove the lid. Empty the sauce packet onto the top of the noodles. Stir and enjoy. Some water in the container after cooking is desired. Now I bought that water in the container that after cooking. It's very tasty, but it's also where a lot of that salt went. So if you're trying to cut back on the salt in this product, eat the noodles, toss the water, unless you're not having a problem with salt. So anyway, let's get on to reviewing this product and see how does it taste. Before I go on to the review, I just remembered to tell you that I bought this on December 6th, 2023, and it has a best used by date of October 2024. So that's about a year of shelf life, and therefore I don't think that makes this a good solution for food storage. Just my opinion. Okay, now let's get on with the review. Okay, so let's take a look inside of this package before we cook it and see what we have. More plastic. Okay, and we're not gonna take the complete lid off because we want to cook it with the plastic on there. Here's our sauce packet. Looks like about maybe 2 to 3 ounces of sauce. There's what our noodles look like. And I can hear the freeze-dried vegetables rummaging around in the bottom. Okay, so I'll be back here in a few minutes and we'll have this cooked. Through the magic of time, I'm back with my sauce packet. One thing I did notice about this, when I put it in the microwave, I only microwave mine for 4 minutes. They say 5, and it was bubbling over, and it sort of made a little mess on the glass rotating tray. So keep an eye on it while you're cooking this, because I think different microwave times may vary. It's steaming hot. I can see the little bits of bok choy and carrot. Not a whole lot in there. So we're going to add our sauce packet. This stuff is kind of syrupy. You remember those oils and salts I were talking about in the ingredients when I read the ingredients? There they are. So we're going to stir these up. We're going to stir these noodles up with the teriyaki sauce. And I guess you just kind of have to watch the color. Get everything the same color after you add this. So this looks like a pretty nice bowl of noodles. It's, you know, you really have to look for the vegetables that they're in there. So you may want to add your own. Let's try a bite. I guess a seasoned noodle pro would be using chopsticks, but that's not me, folks. I'm just a guy, and I'm sure a lot of people who are going to be eating this are like me. So let's take the first bite. That has a good flavor. It's kind of sweet. I do taste the teriyaki sauce. The noodles are easy to chew. They cooked well. They're palatable. Now, because of all the salt, this is probably going to be a thirst-provoking meal, to say the least. Hard to get the noodles wound around the fork. They're very slippery. I guess that's because of all the oils they put in here. So intend to get a little bit of this dripping down your chin as you're eating this. It's a good bite, and I'm sure I'm eating this to make this video, but also as a nighttime snack. 480 calories at the end of the day. Probably won't hurt you if you had light meals throughout the day. This would probably be something tasty to munch on while you're watching TV. Okay, so let's give some ratings. In terms of cooking, it's easy to cook. I found that the directions were not that accurate as far as timing. And it left me with a bit of a mess to clean up in my microwave, which I didn't like. But all you got to do is slice open the packet and add the sauce. So I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. I would have given it a higher score, like I say, if I hadn't had to spend a little bit of time cleaning up my microwave after I cooked it. In terms of flavor, I gotta be honest with you. For my palate, this is tasty, and I like the flavor of it. And I don't give out the ratings very easily, but I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10 just because I'm finding it very palatable and it tastes really good. I have a few more of these that I'm going to review in different flavors. And like I mentioned earlier, when you start looking at all these instant cup of soups and cup of noodles in the grocery store, at least around where I'm at, Nissin has the market cornered. There's some other brands, but practically everything you pick up is going to be labeled with a Nissan label. So there's going to be quite a few things that I'm going to try and review as time goes on. This is actually dripping on my shirt as I'm eating it. It's hard to control the teriyaki sauce because it's so oily that it doesn't really cling to the noodles very well. It wants to drip off. I'm not sure even if you were using chopsticks that would help. I think be sure you hold this close to you when you eat it. For camera purposes, I have it a little bit away from me, and so I'm getting dripped on a little bit. I'm not enjoying that. I'm getting down to the end of the bowl here. It's not a, well, I'm calling it a bowl, but it's not round. But it is good plastic. Hey, you know what? I think what you could do, if you're into gardening, you could take this bowl here and probably put some dirt in it and start some plants. I think you could comfortably start 4 different plants in here. Some veggies or whatever you like to grow. I like to grow garden edibles. Or, you know, you could do, you could probably get some of these in your windowsill and just and grow some herbs and spice in here. Just leave it in here and use it as a little planter if you didn't want to throw this away. It's a pretty nice little bowl. And considering you've already paid $1.46 for the meal, you get some use out of it. If you bought something like this to do your gardening in, you'd probably pay $1.46 just for a package of 2 or 3 of these. So that's another use you can get out of this. I'm having a very difficult time getting these noodles to wrap around the fork the way I like to have them for a bite. And it's not me, it's the noodles, and I can't put my finger on why these things are so hard to twirl. I guess it's all the oils in here that make them slide off the fork. I'm still going to give it a 9 because it tastes so good. I haven't given out a 10 yet, folks. It might have got a 10. No, I can't give it a 10. It's good, but it's not. I mean, you go to the Chinese restaurant and get some teriyaki that tastes better than this. But that's only because it's cooked freshly at the restaurant. But anyway, as I come down to the end of this review, my channel's just getting started. And today I got 9 new subscribers, and I really want to thank you guys. For me, that's a lot in a day. And I hope I have more days like that. I know you guys' time is valuable. So when you come here and spend a few minutes with me at the end of your day or the beginning of your day, I want you to know how much I appreciate your visit. You're always welcome to leave comments. Messy. So you see, some of these YouTube channels get so busy they have to actually hire people to manage their comments. I can only dream of the day. And 9 people in a day at this point is a good start. I always keep some of these disinfectant wipes handy to clean up after myself. I guess a messy meal is oftentimes a meal enjoyed. Anyway, guys, have a great day. God bless, and hope to see you back here again real soon.